If you're a woman over 40 and you feel suddenly like your cravings have gotten stronger, louder, or harder to ignore than ever before, I want you to know something right off the bat. You're not imagining it. You're not broken. And you're definitely not lacking willpower. Cravings after 40 aren't just about food anymore. They become biological, hormonal, emotional, and neurological. That's a lot, all at the same time. And that's why they feel so intense and frustrating. And listen, if you've ever stood in the kitchen at night, not even really truly hungry, just exhausted, overstimulated, and feeling overwhelmed by your day, staring into the fridge and wondering why you just can't stop with these cravings, I see you. That moment alone creates so much shame in women, and it shouldn't. Today, I'm going to walk you through why cravings change after 40, what's secretly making them worse, and the exact steps that I use with my clients and in my own life to finally calm cravings naturally without deprivation or discipline. I'm also going to help you identify your own personal craving type, because the reason why you crave is not necessarily the same as why another woman gets a craving. And once you know your type, the solution becomes very clear. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's driving your cravings after 40, the most common metabolism mistakes that are secretly making your cravings worse, but also 5 things that you can literally get started on today to get your control back. And finally, which cravings type best describes you, so you can stop guessing and stop blaming yourself and instead start using solutions that work. If you're new here, I'm Genny Tonin. I'm a holistic nutritionist that helps women over 40 stop spinning their wheels with diet and exercise. And instead, I help women learn how to drop excess weight in a way that works with their body, feels good, and actually lasts. And I want you to know that this topic of cravings, well, it's personal. This isn't just something that I teach clinically. I have lived this exact pattern. The negotiating, the I'll start again tomorrow, or on Monday, or after the holidays. You know the pattern. And I've also lived that quiet frustration of doing so many things right, but still feeling out of control around food. And here's something that I've seen time and time again with my clients too. When you fix your cravings, you fix your consistency. And when you fix consistency, everything else becomes possible. As I always say, consistency is the secret sauce. And here's the truth that nobody explains. Cravings after 40, they're not a food problem first. They're a chemistry problem. So as you enter midlife, that perimenopause and then menopause transition, well, your estrogen begins to decline. And as estrogen declines, well, your blood sugar becomes less stable. This means that you have bigger spikes, but also you have bigger crashes in your blood sugar. This creates stronger hunger signals and more urgent cravings. And at the same time, stress in midlife, well, it's usually higher than ever before. It's pretty much as high as it's ever going to be at any point in your life, generally speaking. Let's be real. You're carrying a big mental load. You have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things that you're taking care of. You might have family, career, maybe you have aging parents. You're caring for all the things and all the people around you. And your cortisol inevitably rises with all of that. Your cortisol is your key stress hormone. And high cortisol, it directly impacts your hunger levels and your emotional eating, especially at nighttime. And then on top of all that, there's sleep. One single night of bad sleep can increase hunger hormones by almost 25% the next day. So suddenly you wake up hungrier than usual, and you might experience things like craving sugar mid-morning, and you blame yourself. You think that you've lost your discipline or your willpower, your follow-through. You beat yourself up mentally and emotionally when really your body just didn't get the rest it needs. And then add to all of that one of the most common metabolism mistakes I've seen in all of my time working with women in midlife. And that's the fact that you're probably way under eating protein. Even even if you're trying to get more protein. When your body doesn't get enough protein, your brain interprets that as a shortage and it sends out emergency hunger signals. So this is why you can feel ravenous even when you're trying so hard to eat healthy. And then there's comfort patterns. So if you're like 99.9% of us, then food has probably been a source of stress relief for you for many years. So your brain can default to this source of stress relief that it perceives automatically without you even thinking about it, especially when you feel things like overwhelm, feeling lonely, bored, sad, or just mentally depleted by the end of a long day. So again, this is not a discipline issue. This is a chemistry and coping problem. Now, before I take you into the step-by-step craving resets, I want to give you something that can make all of this easier, literally starting tomorrow morning. Align and Rise is my free morning ritual that helps you lower your cortisol, calm your nervous system, reduce emotional eating, and shift you into the identity of the woman that you're becoming instead of the woman that feels stuck in reaction mode. The link's below. And now let's actually walk through how to calm your cravings at the root. Action step number 1 that you can take is to ensure that you're always getting at least 35 grams of protein within the first hour or 2 that you wake up. This is the single biggest craving stabilizer for women over 40. When you eat enough protein early in the day, you stabilize your blood sugar, you reduce your hunger hormones, and you shut down that constant food chatter that's always going on in the back of your brain. You know that voice, the one that makes you think about snacks hours before lunch even hits. So your target is a minimum of 35, ideally closer to 40 grams of protein within the first hour or 2 of waking up. And it doesn't have to be difficult. That can look like a cup of Greek yogurt with a scoop of whey protein powder, which is one of my favorite easy breakfast go-tos. It can be a few eggs mixed with some egg whites. It can be high protein cottage cheese with a scoop of collagen and maybe a handful of berries. You can do lots of high protein meals that you can get together in a flash, but your quick win here is simple. Choose one high protein breakfast that hits that 35 gram minimum target and repeat it for the next week straight. Almost every single woman that I work with notices that her cravings dramatically soften when she does this. Action step number 2 is the protein anchor plate. Now from there, every other meal becomes so much easier when you follow the following basic structure that I'm going to give you. So when you're planning your meals, when you're ordering your meals, when you're making your meals, you start with a protein source first. You determine what that's going to be. Again, you want to aim for a minimum of 35 grams of protein at all of your meals. And to that protein source, you add in your veggies. And then you pick a healthy fat to add into that as well. And then you make sure that you season it in a way that tastes amazing because satisfaction matters. And there's endless combinations in how you can do this. But this specific combination of the protein, the veggies, and the healthy fat, it stabilizes your blood sugar, it keeps you full and nourished, and it drastically reduces the urge to graze between meals. Your quick win here is to just simply prep one protein for the week. Not everything, just one. That single move alone can be the difference between I stayed on track or fell off the wagon again. Now, action step number 3 is what I call the 10-minute craving circuit breaker. So when you have a craving hit, and I'm going to be real, cravings strike. Even if you're getting in lots of protein, there's going to be times when they strike. But when that craving strikes, instead of trying to fight it off mentally and white knuckling it, which almost never works if you're already tired or feeling a little vulnerable, instead, what I want you to do is interrupt it physically. So when the craving strikes, the first thing you do is you get a glass of water. Drink that glass of water. And that's for a number of reasons. Hunger and thirst feel the same in your body. So you want to make sure that you're not dehydrated, which most of us are most of the time. So drink that glass of water. And then I want you to simply move your body for 2 minutes. So this might be doing a couple of walks around the office if you're at work, going to the restroom. Maybe it's emptying your dishwasher or putting away that load of laundry that you never got to, or something, walking laps around your living room. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Just move your body for 2 minutes. And then after that, you simply take a moment to slow down your breathing, to become a little bit calm and focused and aware of the present moment. So all you want to do is ensure that your inhales are shorter than your exhales. So if you breathe in for the count of 4, you would breathe out for the count of 6. And you would repeat that for 1 minute. So this sequence that I just shared, it literally shifts your nervous system and turns off that chemistry that can be driving those cravings in that moment. And if these steps already feel more doable than anything you've tried before, then please like this video and consider subscribing. It really helps me and the channel out, but it also helps other women in midlife find this content that can help them. And also, when you pair what I've just shared with you with Align and Rise, which is linked below, it will help to calm that stress response that fuels cravings in the first place. Now, action step number 4 is what I call the nighttime anchor. Now, nighttime cravings are almost never about food. They are a nervous system exhaustion signal. So instead of battling yourself every night, you want to create a nighttime transition routine. And this helps to signal to your body that food is done for the day. So this can be really simple, yet really effective. It can be things like dimming the lights after dinner, making yourself something like an herbal tea that doesn't have caffeine and doesn't have any sweeteners or calories in it. And maybe you add to that a little relaxation protocol. So again, maybe you take 1 minute to slow your breathing and be present. Maybe you journal, maybe you stretch, maybe you meditate. It can be an assortment of things. And then go into your kitchen and reset things visually. If you have coffee or tea the next morning, have that prepared for you. Make sure your counters are clean and the dishes are away, and just reset it visually so it doesn't look like an appealing place to go eat and snack at night. And then maybe you take a shower or put on your PJs or some comfy clothes or whatever it is that feels relaxing for you. But by doing this, you're telling your brain, okay, we're done with eating for today. Okay, today is winding down. It's time to relax. And when your nervous system finally is able to relax and exhale, so to speak, well, those cravings can soften naturally. Action step number 5 is what I call the weekly craving-proof reset. So 1 time per week, pick a day that works for you. For me, this is Sundays, but 1 time per week, you do an environment reset. So you can do things like if you have trigger foods that you're trying to avoid in your home still, well, if you can't get rid of them for somebody else wants them or whatever the reason is, then you can do something like move those trigger foods out of your visual zone. So instead of them being front and center in your pantry or in your fridge or your cabinet or wherever they are, put them out of sight more. And then instead, preset high protein snacks. Maybe that's hard-boiled eggs or low sugar beef jerky or cottage cheese or whatever it is. But make sure that you are stocked with those high protein snacks that are going to help you stay aligned. And then make sure you stock some easy to eat produce. Maybe it's some berries or cucumber or chopped up veggies that you like. But make sure you have easy access to produce that you can grab quickly to add to your meals or just snack on as you feel the need. And by doing this, you're stocking your kitchen for your future self, the version of you that makes these choices that are aligned with the habits that you're creating instead of what you're trying to resist. And by doing this, you stop relying on willpower and you start designing your day, your week, your life for success. So here's your full cravings reset recap. You eat your protein early within the first hour or two of waking up. Make sure that it's at least 35 grams. Ensure that every meal you have is a protein anchored meal. When you do get a craving, employ the craving circuit breaker. Have your nighttime anchor and a weekly environment reset. Because when your cravings calm down, all of the other stuff around food becomes so much easier to sustain. Now, let me help you identify what your craving type is. So I want you to listen to the one that feels uncomfortably accurate. There may be a few that you resonate with. We all might to varying degrees, but the one that really hits home for you the most, that's your craving type. So if you are the type of person that craves the most when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling stressed, overstimulated, emotionally drained, those types of feelings, then you're likely a stress craver. So if that's you, then your first action of the week is to choose one daily nervous system downshift. So this can be a variety of things, something that helps to calm down that stress response. It can be going for a brief walk. It can be doing some simple breath work, following the Align and Rise morning ritual, or simply sitting in silence for 5 minutes before you go to eat dinner. Now, if you crash between your meals and you crave sugar urgently, you're likely a blood sugar craver. So your first action this week is to front load protein at breakfast and make sure that you are never skipping your lunch and that it's protein fueled too. Now, if your cravings hit at the same time pretty much every day, day in, day out of habit, then you're likely a habit craver. So your first action this week is to change your environment at your most common craving time. So that can mean going to a different room, having a different ritual, some kind of different cue, but just changing up the patterns so you change up the cravings. And now if you feel constantly hungry, even when you're eating healthy, then you might be an under-eating craver. Your first action this week is to increase your total calories that you're getting through proteins and healthy fats. And I want you to remove any fears you have around eating enough. So let me know, are you craving type 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want calmer days, fewer food battles, and real control again, then download Align and Rise below. And if you want personal one-on-one support with your cravings, your hormones, your metabolism, and your identity change, the link to work with me privately is below as well. But tell me in the comments, I want to know, when do your cravings hit hardest? Is it the afternoon? Is it mid-morning? Is it at night, on the weekend, some other time? And if this helped you, then please like it and consider subscribing. And while you're at it, why don't you share this with another woman over 40 who deserves to be at peace in her body again? You're not broken. You're just recalibrating at this phase of life. And you don't have to do it alone anymore. You've got this, and I am here with you every single step of the way. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.